Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a seriously fascinating journey lined up for you. We're going to take the hard, observable facts of modern biology and map them directly onto the profound, ancient wisdom of Indian philosophy. It's basically a deep dive into how ancient texts and modern science might actually be speaking the exact same language, and uncovering some hidden layers about who we truly are.
Okay, let's dive into this. 8.4 million. In ancient Hindu texts, there's this really prominent concept that existence is made up of exactly 84 lakh, or 8.4 million, yonis. That essentially translates to species or forms of life. We're talking everything from a simple peepal tree to a cow to a lion. Now, fast forward a few thousand years to our modern scientific estimates of the total number of species currently on Earth. The number, roughly 8.4 to 8.6 million. The alignment is absolutely perfect, and it begs a pretty huge question.
I mean, think about it. If those ancient texts hit the nail on the head regarding the sheer number of species on Earth, could there be a deeper link between the fundamental building blocks of our physical bodies, our 23 pairs of chromosomes, and the 23 karanas, or instruments of life, that are outlined in ancient Indian philosophy? Let's unpack this core mystery and explore the hidden, almost magical symmetries between the realms of hard science and deep spirituality.
All right, part 1, the microscope and the science of 23.
To crack this mystery, we need to look through two very different lenses. First up, the biological pillar. Modern science tells us that every single cell in the human body contains exactly 23 pairs of chromosomes. It's the literal genetic blueprint of our physical form. And that final pair, that strictly determines our biological sex. An XX combination generally leads to a female body, while an XY leads to a male body. This whole process, run by genes and hormones, builds our physical shell and dictates our material reality. But is this physical shell the whole story? Which brings us to part 2, the mind and the philosophy of the 23 Karanas. Let's move to and see how this builds. We're shifting our lens away from the microscope and turning it inward, stepping into the incredibly profound world of ancient Samkhya and Vedanta philosophy. According to these traditions, there's a highly subtle internal system operating inside every living being, and it's made up of exactly 23 karanas, or instruments. We've got our 5 organs of action to interact with the world, our 5 sense organs to perceive it, the 5 life forces or pranas, and the 5 sense objects. That's 20. Toss in the mind, the intellect, and the unmanifested, and boom, you arrive right back at that magic number 23. These 23 elements form the invisible machinery of our internal experience. But there's one final element that binds all of these instruments together, called ahankara, making it 24 in total. Now, people hear ahankara and often mistake it for simple arrogance or vanity. Actually, scratch that. It's way deeper than pride. It's the profound, deeply rooted awareness of your own identity. It's that psychological construct that makes you point to yourself and say, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a doctor, or I'm an engineer. It's our personal, limited ego anchoring us to the physical world. And this brilliantly illustrates a truly stunning core parallel. When we put these two realities side by side, a perfect symmetry emerges. In our measurable biological reality, 23 pairs of chromosomes build the physical body and determine biological sex. In our inner philosophical reality, 23 karanas, capped by the ego of ahankara, build our inner personality and our lived experience. One creates the physical shell, the other creates the psychological shell. Form and function perfectly mirrored. But if chromosomes build the body and karanas build the mind and ego, what on earth lies underneath both of those? Moving into our third area, beyond biology, identity and the soul. To figure out what's underneath the body and the mind, we look to the ancient wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. It lays it out super clearly. The ultimate soul is neither male nor female. It doesn't take birth and it doesn't die. Biological gender, the jobs we do, the labels we wear, those are absolutely real at the level of the physical body and the ahankara, the ego. But the ultimate reality of the soul, that operates completely outside of those boundaries. And that brings us straight to the idea of the sakshi, or the purusha. Now, in everyday language, you'll often hear purusha used just to mean man, but philosophically, it actually translates to the dweller in the city, the pure, silent, witnessing consciousness residing in what texts call the 9-gated city of the human body. This silent witness is in all of us, completely separate from biological sex or any ego-driven labels. It's not a man or a woman. It is simply the watcher, experiencing life. Let's pull it all together in part 4, the synthesis and the symbolism of Ardhanarishvara.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it visually ties everything together. How do we synthesize the biology of 23 chromosomes, the philosophy of 23 karnas, and the ultimate reality of the soul? The answer is in the profound concept of Ardhanarishvara, the divine form that's half man, half woman. Shiva represents pure witnessing consciousness, while Shakti represents the whole of nature, the material energy, those 23 chromosomes. It's not a contradiction, it's a unique perspective showing perfect coordination. Think about fire and its heat. You literally cannot separate them, right? That's exactly how our biological form and our witnessing consciousness intertwine to create human existence.
Which leads us right into the philosophy of Advaita, or non-dualism. When we start rising above that limited ego, that voice in our head telling us we are strictly separate, defined solely by our biology or our job, we realize an ultimate non-dual unity. The dualities of existence, of male and female, of mind and matter, they just merge into one singular truth. It's kind of like a dream. While you're dreaming, you feel totally separate from the dream world around you. But when you wake up, you realize the dreamer and the dream were actually the exact same thing the whole time.
So the crucial point is captured beautifully in this powerful ancient chant, Chidananda Rupam Shivoham. I am pure consciousness and bliss, I am Shiva. Because when you strip away the 23 chromosomes that dictate your physical form, and you finally quiet the 23 karanas that dictate your thoughts and ego, what's left at the very core? Just pure, unlabeled, blissful consciousness.
I want to leave you with one final, totally provocative thought. We've seen the incredible alignment between hard science and ancient philosophy today, right? We've seen how our biology and consciousness are just deeply, beautifully intertwined. But on a personal level, if your biology builds your physical body and your ego builds your daily identity, who is the silent witness inside you, just watching the whole shebang unfold? Take a second to really let that sink in. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. I hope it sparks some real curiosity about the profound mystery of your own existence. Until next time, keep questioning and keep exploring.